Your blood type may seem like a small detail on a medical chart, but it could tell a much bigger story. Hidden in your blood is a record shaped by thousands of years of human survival through predators, disease, and changing environments. Scientists have identified several blood groups around the world, and each one may reflect how our ancestors adapted to different challenges. Today, those same traits may still influence how our bodies respond to the modern world. So what does your blood type reveal about your evolutionary story? Let us start with O positive, one of the most common blood types in the world. Around 38% of people share this type, and scientists believe it may be one of the oldest blood groups in human history. One interesting feature of type O blood is that red blood cells do not carry A or B antigens. Because of this, their surface structure differs from other blood types, which scientists continue to study for its potential biological effects. Some research has explored whether blood type differences may be associated with variations in cardiovascular risk. There are also studies exploring possible connections between blood type O and brain health, including differences in regions related to coordination and aging. Scientists are still studying these patterns to understand what they might mean. But this ancient biological design may also come with trade-offs. Some researchers have explored whether digestive patterns, including stomach acid levels, may vary slightly between different blood groups, although the evidence is still being studied. In ancient environments, differences in digestion may have influenced how people processed certain foods and responded to microbes. In the modern world, digestive sensitivity can vary widely from person to person depending on many factors, such as diet, lifestyle, and overall health. In a way, people with type O blood may carry a biological system shaped for a much older world, a world where survival depended on endurance, hunting, and long periods between meals. Your body may still remember that ancient rhythm, even if modern life looks very different today. But the story of type O blood does not end with physical endurance. Research from the University of Sheffield has explored possible differences in brain structure between blood groups. In some findings, certain participants with type O blood were observed to have slightly greater gray matter volume in parts of the cerebellum, a region involved in coordination and cognitive function. Scientists are still studying what these observations might mean, and the relationship between blood type and brain structure remains an area of ongoing research. But evolution often comes with trade-offs. If you have ever felt like mosquitoes seem to target you more than everyone else, there may be a biological reason. Several controlled studies have suggested that certain mosquito species may be more attracted to people with type O blood compared with some other blood groups. Researchers think this may be linked to subtle chemical signals released through the skin. These chemical signals may make some people easier for insects to detect, yet the story does not end there. Some studies have also found that people with type O blood may have a lower risk of severe malaria. One explanation is that the malaria parasite may have a harder time binding to red blood cells without certain antigens. In a strange way, this creates an evolutionary paradox. Type O individuals may attract more mosquitoes, yet their blood may also offer a degree of protection against one of the most dangerous diseases those insects carry. This evolutionary trade-off becomes even more interesting when we look at how the body interacts with some of the world's most dangerous diseases. Mosquitoes may be drawn to people with type O blood more often, but what happens after the bite tells a very different story. The answer may lie in the structure of type O red blood cells. Because these cells do not carry A or B antigens, their surface is slightly different from other blood types. Some researchers believe this difference can make it harder for malaria parasites to form tight clusters inside the bloodstream. In other blood types, infected cells can sometimes stick to healthy ones, creating clusters that block tiny blood vessels and contribute to severe complications. Some studies suggest that this clustering may appear less frequently in individuals with type O blood. This could help explain why type O has often been linked to a lower risk of severe malaria in regions where the disease is common. Interestingly, this reflects a familiar pattern in evolution. One trait may bring a small inconvenience, like attracting more mosquito bites, while another may provide protection against a much greater threat. In that sense, type O blood carries the mark of ancient survival, a biological design shaped by environments where endurance and resilience meant everything. But as we move from the challenges of the ancient world into modern medicine, this same blood type begins to take on a very different role. You may be wondering something right now. If type O reflects the ancient hunter, what kind of life shaped the other blood types? Next, we arrive at O negative, a blood type often called the universal donor. In modern medicine, this type plays a critical role during emergencies. In a trauma room, when a patient is losing blood and there's no time to test their blood group, doctors often rely on O negative. Because these red blood cells lack the major A, B, and Rh antigens, they are less likely to trigger an immediate immune reaction in many recipients. This means people with O negative blood can potentially donate to patients with many different blood types. In life-threatening situations, that ability can make all the difference. But for the small percentage of the population who carry this blood type, the story also has another side. While O-negative blood can be given to many others, receiving blood is far more limited. People with this type usually need O-negative blood themselves. If a different type is used, the immune system may recognize unfamiliar proteins and react against the transfusion. Because O-negative is relatively rare, this blood type has become especially important in hospital blood banks around the world. Throughout history, Rh differences sometimes created challenges during pregnancy when the immune system of a parent could react to a fetus with a different Rh factor. Today, modern medicine has developed treatments that greatly reduce these risks. People with O-negative blood hold a unique place in modern healthcare. As we move away from the ancient hunter lineage, we arrive at another major chapter in human evolution. This is A-positive, a blood type carried by roughly 1/3 of the global population. Many researchers believe this blood group became more common during the agricultural revolution, when humans shifted from hunting and gathering to farming and living in larger, more crowded communities. With this new lifestyle came new biological challenges, especially the spread of infectious diseases. The A antigen on red blood cells may have played a role in how the immune system recognized and responded to certain pathogens. But every evolutionary advantage often comes with a trade-off. Compared with type O, some studies have observed that individuals with type A blood may show slightly higher levels of certain clotting factors in the bloodstream. In ancient farming societies, this could be extremely useful. Injuries from tools or farm work were common, and faster clotting could help prevent dangerous blood loss. In the modern world, however, life looks very different. Many people spend long hours sitting and moving far less than their ancestors did. Some studies suggest that higher clotting activity may also be linked to an increased risk of blood clots or certain cardiovascular problems. Researchers are still studying how blood type interacts with lifestyle and long-term health. Type A blood reflects a body shaped for the challenges of early civilization. Beyond the physical texture of your blood, the agricultural shift may also have influenced how the body responds to stress. Some research has explored whether people with different blood types may show small variations in stress-related hormones, such as cortisol, which plays a role in alertness and the body's stress response. In the ancient world, this may have been a useful adaptation. Early farming communities lived in permanent settlements where people were surrounded by neighbors, animals, and changing environmental conditions. In that setting, a heightened sense of awareness could help individuals respond quickly to social tension, illness, or sudden danger. This elevated stress response may have worked like a biological alarm system, helping early villagers stay attentive to the world around them. In modern life, however, the environment is very different. Many people spend long hours dealing with mental pressure rather than physical threats. Some studies suggest that when stress hormones remain elevated for longer periods, the body may take more time to return to a calm state. Instead of a short burst of alertness, the stress response may linger. Over time, this prolonged exposure to stress signals can contribute to fatigue and ongoing inflammation in the body. Researchers are still studying how blood type may interact with stress patterns and lifestyle factors. In many ways, type A blood may reflect a system designed for constant awareness in busy, early settlements, now adapting to the slower rhythms of modern daily life. As human societies continue to expand and migrate, another evolutionary path began to appear. This is B positive, a blood type sometimes linked to the long journeys of ancient nomadic cultures. Many historians and genetic researchers believe this blood group became more common among populations that moved across the Asian steppes and surrounding regions. These communities often relied on herding animals and traveling long distances in search of new grazing lands. Because of this lifestyle, their diet looked very different from that of early farmers. Meat and dairy products were important sources of nutrition. Some researchers have explored whether dietary responses to foods, such as fats and dairy, may vary slightly between individuals, although scientists emphasize that overall diet and lifestyle remain far more important factors. Life on the move also meant constant exposure to new environments and unfamiliar microbes. Over generations, this may have shaped how the immune system responded to outside threats. Some studies have explored possible links between type B blood and certain immune responses. In modern medical research, scientists are still examining whether people with this blood type may show different patterns in how the immune system reacts to infections or inflammation. In many ways, type B blood reflects the legacy of movement and adaptation, a biological system shaped by travel, changing climates, and a diet built around endurance for long journeys. Deepening the story of the traveler, we arrive at B negative, one of the rarest blood types in the world. Less than 2% of the global population carries this marker, making it a truly uncommon biological profile. People with B negative blood share many characteristics with B positive individuals, including the presence of the B antigen on their red blood cells. The key difference is the absence of the Rh factor, a protein that appears in most other blood types. Because of this combination, B negative blood has a very specific compatibility pattern. It can be donated to people with B negative and AB negative blood, but receiving blood is far more limited. In medical settings, this rarity can present real challenges. Hospitals must carefully manage their blood supplies because compatible donations for B negative patients are much harder to find. For individuals with this blood type, compatibility becomes especially important during emergencies or surgeries, where transfusions may be needed quickly. Blood banks around the world often encourage people with rare blood types to donate regularly in order to maintain a stable supply. In a broader sense, B negative reflects the diversity found within human genetics. Some biological traits become rare not because they are weak, but because they followed a different path through history. Even today, this uncommon blood type reminds us how small genetic differences can shape the way medicine prepares for critical moments. Emerging from the meeting point of the farmer and the nomad, we find AB positive, one of the most distinctive blood types in the human family. Many scientists believe this blood group appeared later in human history as different populations began to mix through migration and expanding civilizations. People with AB positive blood carry both A and B antigens on their red blood cells. Because of this combination, their bodies can accept blood from many different types during transfusions. In modern hospitals, this creates an important advantage. Individuals with AB positive blood are often called universal recipients, meaning they can receive red blood cells from several other blood groups when necessary. During emergency situations where compatible blood is needed quickly, this flexibility can be extremely helpful for doctors and patients. However, the unique biology of AB blood has also raised interesting questions for researchers studying the immune system. Because this blood type recognizes both A and B markers as familiar, scientists have explored whether the immune response may react differently to certain external signals or infections. Research in this area is still ongoing, and many factors such as genetics, environment, and lifestyle also play important roles in health outcomes. In many ways, AB-positive blood reflects the blending of human lineages over time. It represents a biological meeting point created by migration, cultural exchange, and the long story of human movement across the planet. Finally, we arrive at AB negative, one of the rarest blood types in the world. Less than 1% of the global population carries this unique combination of markers. People with AB negative blood have both A and B antigens on their red blood cells, but do not carry the Rh factor. Because of this rare combination, transfusion compatibility becomes very specific. Individuals with this blood type can usually receive red blood cells from AB negative, A negative, B negative, and O negative donors. However, finding these compatible types can sometimes be challenging due to their limited availability. At the same time, AB blood types hold another important role in modern medicine. Their plasma does not contain antibodies against A or B markers, which allows it to be used for patients with many different blood groups in certain medical situations. Because of this property, AB plasma is especially valuable in emergency care and trauma treatment, where rapid transfusions may be needed. Researchers have also examined possible associations between blood types and long-term health patterns. Some large population studies have explored whether statistical differences in certain health conditions appear across different blood groups, particularly in areas related to circulation or brain health, although many factors such as genetics, lifestyle, and environment also play major roles. Scientists continue to study these relationships because many factors, including genetics and lifestyle, influence the final outcome. In the end, blood types are one small part of the complex story of human biology and evolution. But now we are curious, what is your blood type? Tell us in the comments, and let us know if any of these patterns sound familiar. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for the support.